got one job, that is to spread happiness. And if you're watching my video, don't forget to smile. That's nice. Today, I am going to tell you a story. But before that, have you listened to my previous stories? They are all on Facebook and YouTube. And how do you find me? You find me by typing Happy Lobo. Very simple, Happy Lobo. Now, to begin today's story, the title of the story is The Little Lie. The Little Lie. And it's written by Jade, Maitre. So, if you're ready, we will begin the story. Far, far away, there were a lot of mountains, and next to them was the sea, the vast sea, lots and lots of water. And on that mountain was a beautiful tower. You call it a lighthouse. Have you seen a lighthouse? Yes? If you've not seen, take a look at this picture. Lighthouse. Now, what does a lighthouse do? A lighthouse is a big torch, and it's a signal for all the ships which are sailing in the sea. When you're sailing, you might get lost because there's water all around. Everywhere there's water and water and water. But when you come close to the shore and you see this light, you know which direction you're going. So a lighthouse is a great helper to all the sailors. That's a nice job the lighthouse does. And today I have brought a nice song for you about the lighthouse. Do you want to sing that song with me? Repeat after me. All right? Here we go. Look up, it's a tall tower. It's a tall tower. You got the words? Look up, it's a tall tower. It's a tall tower, red and white and white and red. Something's on its head. Guess what is on its head? Come on, take a look at this picture as we sing the song. Look up, it's a tall tower, quite tall. It's a tall tower, red and white and white and red. Guess what's on its head? That's the surprising part now. Look up, it's a tall tower, it's a tall tower, something spinning round and round, it's a beacon on its crown, it's a light. So the lighthouse has a very bright light here at the top. Can you see that? Here at the top. And that's the signaling light. So I like the lighthouse, and next time when I see a lighthouse, I'll make sure I climb and go to the top, and the view is beautiful right up there. Okay, let's come to our story. On this lighthouse lived our friend Luca, and Luca used to stay here right on top. There's not much that you can do in a lighthouse, so Luca would always find ways to keep himself busy. He would dance around, he would sing, he would look out, but above all, he used to read books. He loved books. Do you love books? It's an interesting world. So Luca had 4 books. Yes, he had only 4 books. And you know why he had only 4 books? Because there wasn't much space there in the lighthouse. A lighthouse is very small, so he cannot have a big library. So he had only 4 books, his favorite books. But then, reading books is not easy there. There's only one window, and during the daytime, the beacon or the light will use that window to flash. And during the night time, it's dark, and the light which keeps turning around actually does not allow you to read. It's difficult. So you will read one word at a time. The light came and you read a word. And then the light came again, you read a word. So you read one word at a time. It's not easy. So Luca found it very difficult to read. Sometimes he went down and there was a bench there. He would sit there and he would read. But then the breeze was so harsh that his pages would just fly away. Again, that was difficult to read. So, Luca always had a challenge to read books. Sometimes he would go into the kitchen and find some place where there's light and read. Sometimes he would go and sit on the doorstep and try to read. He would read the books all over again and again and again and again. The 4 books that he had. Now Luca's parents realized that Luca just loves books and he needs to read more books. But how do we get more books? It so happened that once there was a submarine that came sailing by. Do you know what a submarine is? A submarine is a ship that goes underwater. Yes, a submarine is a ship that goes underwater. And look at this submarine, a cute one. It'll just go deep inside the water and people will be inside this. And a small submarine came there. And in that submarine was a little girl. Our friend Lily also loved books. But she had only one book. Same problem. There's not much space in a submarine. So they can only have one book there. Now, Lily's father also wanted to read books. Now you can't have many books. So both of them had only one book. And this book was a special book. Lily just loved that book. She carried it everywhere that she went. She would read it over and over again. Her dad would also read the book. And then they would have fun going through the book. And she would never let go of this book because that was a favorite book. Luca's parents said that let's bring Lily home so that Luca and Lily can play and have some fun. So they invited Lily home. And one bright morning, Lily came and knocked at the door. And so Luca went running to meet Lily because he was excited. He wanted to see who this girl was. And maybe he could show some of his books. Maybe he could show the lighthouse. He was very excited. And there when he met Lily, he was very happy to see her. He told in his mind, good, I have a friend now. I'm going to have a good time today. It's going to be fun. And soon, Luca and Lily ran up all the way to the top of the lighthouse. So Luca and Lily spent a lot of time there. And Luca showed Lily his favorite books, his 4 books. And Lily got very excited because she loves books. But then Lily kept her book close to her, did not offer it to Luca. And Luca started wondering, which is the book she's got? She's got a book. Can I ask her to show me the book? He was not very sure. He was not very sure. He just kept quiet. In some time, there was a lot of commotion outside. Yes. Suddenly, it became very dark. There were dark clouds there. And both of them ran to the window and peeped out and saw. It was very dark. There was a storm coming. And that's a bad news for a submarine or a boat. And Lily got very worried. She was looking out of the window to see, I hope the submarine is fine. She got a little frightened too, because her parents were in the submarine. And when she was looking out, she did not realize that the book which was there in her hand slipped and fell down. She quickly turned back and told Luca, Luca, I have to go. My parents will be very worried and there's a big storm coming there. And she ran away. She just ran down and off she went out of the door and in the lawn and she was gone. And here was Luca. He wasn't worried that the storm is coming. In fact, he was very happy because he found the book fallen down. He took the book and he was very happy because he loved books. That day he spent his entire evening reading that book. And when he came down for his dinner, his parents asked him, so Luca, how was your time? How did you spend your time with Lily? And Luca said, I just showed her the lighthouse and I showed her the light. That was a lie. Do you realize that? That was a lie that Luca told. Not a good thing. He told a lie. And after dinner, Luca went to his bedroom, the place where the big light is. And he wanted to read the book, continue reading the book. And this book, this orange book that belongs to Lily, was about tides. Do you know what tides are? Tides are the time when the water level rises in the sea and then it comes down. So that's a high tide and a low tide. And this book was all about the tides. It was a very interesting topic. Luca's mother called out to Luca and said, "Luca, do you want me to read a book for you?" And Luca said, "No, Mama, I'm very tired. I'm going to sleep." That was lie number 2. Luca said the second lie. And then Luca spent the whole night reading the book. But you know, at night it's difficult to read the book because the light keeps turning around. So you read the book and then you read one word and the light is gone. Now, it was difficult, but Luca tried hard to read the book. He stayed up late night to read the book until he was really tired and went to bed. The next morning, when Luca's mother called him for breakfast, she found a very tired Luca. He had not slept the whole night. So he was very tired. He was very lazy too. And he wasn't exciting as before. He wasn't energetic. As days went by, Luca was not at all comfortable. He had that strong feeling in his heart that he was not doing something right. He had told lies. He had stolen the book, and that was not giving him a good feeling at all. And he got very worried. He got very sad. He was not cheerful like before. And he did not enjoy reading that book. So one day he decided that he will go and return the book. Luca was worried. What will Lily think of me? He thought. But then he saw Lily smile. "I'm so happy, Luca, that you brought this book back to me. It's my favorite book. I suppose it was very hard for you to come and say sorry, but you are a brave boy, and that's a good thing. Thank you so much." When Luca heard this, he was relieved. He felt very peaceful. And what came next is a very beautiful thing. Lily said, "Come, let's read this book together." And that made Luca very happy. And they spent the next whole week sitting together and reading this book. That's the end of the story. Did you like the story? I like this story. Let me ask you a question. How do you feel when you tell a lie? Do you feel good about it? Do you feel happy and excited? I'm sure not. When you tell a lie, you think about it. You feel sad. You feel a little disturbed, uncomfortable. You don't feel good. And that's exactly what Luca felt. Also think about the time when you told a lie and then you wanted to go and say, "I'm sorry," or you wanted to admit it. It's not easy, but I have 2 tips for you. Tip number 1, whenever you have to admit that you have done something wrong, go in front of a mirror and practice it. Stand there and say, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I promise I won't do again." So you practice that so that when you go and meet the person, you're a little comfortable telling that you're sorry. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2, it's not easy to look into the eyes of the person and speak. So whenever you have to do that, you don't have to look into the eyes. Look down. And as you start talking, you can look up and then look into the eye of the other person. That will make you comfortable. So these are 2 tips that you can use. Now here is something important. Whenever you're in a situation where you're tempted to tell lies, remember you have other options. Luca could have requested Lily, would have asked for the book. Say, Lily, can I borrow this book? And Lily would have given it. After all, it's a book and can be borrowed and returned. So you always have options. Look at the options of borrowing it. That's a good option. You can have it for a few days and then remember to return and thank them. Lying is not good. So always remember the 2 tips. You always have other options, so we don't have to lie. And that makes us good children. So coming to the end of the story session, I won't leave without singing the song. I hope you remember the song about the tall tower. Come on, let's sing it together. Look up, it's a tall tower. It's a tall tower. Red and white and red. Guess what's on its head? Look up, it's a tall tower. It's a tall tower. Something spinning round and round. It's a beacon on its crown. Yes, that's a beautiful light that's there on the crown of the lighthouse. So now with a big smile, let's all say bye-bye. Bye-bye everyone. Wait for the next story that's coming on my YouTube and Facebook channels. Just search for Happy Lobo and you'll find my stories. So bye-bye children.